Now we're moving to the ending scene on page 35, which is the very end of the entire play. So I'm going to then read the part when Dou Tianzhang announces the verdict. Okay, so this is on page 35, the very end. Dou Tianzhang says, "All of you, listen to my decision. Donkey Zhang conspired to murder his own father and deceive a person of good standing. In the marketplace, he shall be clearly executed. Clerks and officials of Yang Prefecture mismanaged and went contrary to criminal law. They shall be canned 100 times and never to be employed again. Peerless physician mixed a poisonous compound. He shall suffer the blade at the Yunyang marketplace. Madame Cai will be cared for in my own household, and Dou's sentence shall be changed, purity restored to her name. To follow through with this, take Donkey Zhang and decapitate him in the public streets. Take these public officials and strip them of office, and then hold a great jiao ceremony of the waters and land, so that my daughter may transcend this world, cross over, and be reborn in heaven." As mentioned previously, the ending of this play about injustice has to offer some mental compensation for the wronged people and also the audience. So ordinary people whose life is filled with sorrow and bitterness could walk out of the theater with hope for tomorrow, right? This is to say, villains have to be punished and the good guys have to be awarded. In Injustice to Dou, the villains are severely punished. West and Idema's translation quoted previously shows the harsh punishment for them, death sentence for Donkey Zhang and Peerless Physician. In fact, in the Chinese original text, in the Chinese play, Donkey Zhang's punishment is to be sliced 120 times. Sliced. Okay, but Peerless Physician is to be exiled to the countryside and to be a soldier. The original Chinese punishment for the arch-villain, Donkey Zhang, seems to be more gratifying to the Chinese audience. The corrupt official is physically punished, canned 100 times. So this time it's his turn to be canned, to be punished, beat 100 times, and never to be employed. This should make the Chinese audience happy, because obviously this official is a Mongol. Based on his name, Tao Wu, no Han Chinese name would be Tao Wu. Okay, so he must be a Mongol. It's said many Mongol officials could not read lawsuit documents in Chinese. They couldn't read Chinese at all. And it's said they were notorious for taking bribes. Okay, so at the end of the play, we then see that not just the villains, Donkey Zhang and Peerless Physician, punished, but also the Mongolian official, Tao Wu. Okay, so now we see justice finally restored. So now we need to then think about this entire play in our conclusion. Injustice to Dou is rated to be the best tragedy of Yuanzaju, of Chinese drama, together with The Orphan of Zhao. So in this tragedy, we see a very heroic and brave woman. She has really clear and vivid character portrayal. After talking about her reactions, her ariels, when she sings about her feelings, then we find that she really believes in this Confucian ethics or ethical principles like chastity, loyalty, integrity, and filial piety. Although she sounds a little bit aggressive when she criticizes her mother-in-law. She is still fighting for her principle and her belief. Okay, so it is very interesting to see it's a woman. It's a powerless woman who would then fight for some Confucian ideology and belief. As a contrast, her mother-in-law is pliable. She changes her principle, so she survives. So this is very tricky. But simply because between two virtues, loyalty to your concept of chastity, and then also filial piety, okay, and so she decides at the end to save her mother-in-law because she knows her mother-in-law can never endure the severe beating, the physical punishment at court. And so she confesses to the false charge. Okay, so this vivid portrayal makes her great heroine. This is a real story, or maybe I should say a legend, during the Han Dynasty. It could be found in 搜神记 I just mentioned. But Guan Hanqing adds more so that we see this female heroine, this hero demonstrating Chinese virtues. No wonder Chinese scholars would then think she is really an emblem of this integrity. So she believes in this integrity, she fights for it, and then she dies for it. But I believe that Guan Hanqing also witnessed brilliant and brave women around him. As I mentioned, that he frequently writes about women. And it's believed that Guan Hanqing probably, like Shakespeare, also role-played in plays. So that means he performed. So he knew a lot of actresses. And some actresses were also courtesans. Well, literally, high-class prostitutes. Okay. Guan Hanqing observed that these women were really brave, probably braver than intellectuals, that is, Confucian scholars. And so he would prefer to depict these women's lives. Okay. But Guan Hanqing also clearly tells us that during the Yuan Dynasty, this society was sick. So that, as you can see, the villain's name is Zhang Lu'er, Donkey Zhang. We rarely call somebody donkey. So a scholar also suspects that this Donkey Zhang is a Mongol too. Okay? That is to say, in this play, we see several Mongols, including maybe Donkey Zhang and also this official Tao Wu, who would oppress or coerce innocent people, powerless women. And so in this case, at the end of the play, we finally see a happy ending. Even though it's a happy ending, from Chinese concept, it's still a tragedy.